when I was studying my undergrad back in Taiwan. So I'm a Taiwanese originally. And then in Taiwan, it's all about semiconductors and then chip manufacturing, right? As a cliche, I also studied electrical engineering back at that time. And then, and I think after studying like maybe like 2 years, about all these hardware design, I decided I'm probably not the best for that kind of career track, because I think that you have to mess around with the hardwares, and then a lot of time when you build something, you don't actually get an instant feedback loop, right? You have to design the chips and you send it to the manufacturer, and then they will have to manufacture it for a couple of months time, and then you come back with the system and you can test it. So I just thought that feedback loop was a bit too long. And then I started to get into software development because, the feedback loop is very instant and very fast. And then in software engineering, one of the particular subject I started to touch upon was the speech recognition. And I thought that was pretty cool because back at that time, it was basically using quite a sophisticated mathematical model to model human speech. So I thought that that's actually a cool subject, and that's how I started my research career there. That was like probably like third year of my undergrad, and since then I have been doing speech recognition, and then therefore like when I applied to study my PhD, I got into Cambridge, which the supervisor I worked with was called Steve Young. So he was an expert in the speech recognition field. But then back at that time, he has already shifted all his research towards, conversational AIs. Back at that time, people still call them the dialogue systems, which is like, a lot more technical, a lot more like, practical terms. But I think, so then once I went to Cambridge to study with him, I met my co-founders, and then that's kind of like the research subject we have been working on since then.